Today we've got Tyler from DM21 Gaming here.
Hey, how you doing?
You guys have made a video about No Man's Sky.
Yep, we made at least one video about No Man's Sky.
I heard from Total Biscuit that you made a video named Multiplayer Confirmed in No Man's Sky.
That's right. Yeah, we put out a video before the game came out. We had a bunch of sources and stuff, and we put out a video. It was pretty controversial, saying that the multiplayer is going to be in the game, but that has yet to happen.
Oh yeah, it's marked as a single player game on Steam at the moment.
Yep.
When I heard of that, I thought that's probably nonsense because how the fuck, if you look at No Man's Sky, it's got all these different creatures and all that space and people are gonna sync all of that over multiplayer. I mean, synchronize. I probably
Yeah.
yeah, that was something. So
Yeah,
let's
there are a lot of weird like design elements a part of the game. Once you open it up, you can really kind of it's one of those things where it's like this there's no way this has multiplayer. You can physically pause the game, and there's a lot of little shit like that
yes, pause the multiplayer. Every time anyone in the whole universe pauses, it pauses for everyone.
I know, right? That's got to be annoying.
Uh, yeah, that's hilarious. So, anyways, today I want to discuss whether or not it is possible to have a No Man's Sky multiplayer.
Hmm.
So, normally in multiplayer games, what you do is that you pick an area that is as small as possible, so that you can devote the least amount of resources to transmitting the positions that players have.
Sure.
Because if you look at Agario, for example, that's just a small square
Yeah.
with an invisible border even, and that way there's only two coordinates, x and y, and then they only go up to, I don't know, 1,000 maybe 3,000, something in between.
Sure.
So there's two numbers that have just a low number of bits, and you have to transmit them for the players every, well, depends what the interval is, probably about three times per second, or maybe once per second, who knows.
Yeah.
But if you probably also have to transmit the velocity of the players so that it doesn't seem weird. I mean, so it has something to fill in the gaps between the transmissions.
Yeah. So
So
what you're saying is that there's just a lot of information going out at one time
yeah,
whenever you play a multiplayer game like this. Even something as simple as Agario.
yeah, they
Yeah.
kept Agaria as simple as possible so that they could have lots of players in one area.
Hmm.
So the larger the game area gets, the more complicated and the more time you have to waste on, the more resources you have to waste on transmitting the the coordinates of the players.
Yep.
So if you have No Man's Sky, which is, if I'm getting this right, basically really big, and it doesn't cut up into loading screens, right?
Well, it hides them.
Oh, it does?
It hides them in clever animations, but there is no screen that says loading, please wait. But there are loading screens.
Are there?
Yeah, oh yeah. Like when you go into the space station, that
Oh,
animation
yeah, no,
when
that's
you're
not what
driving
I
in and
meant.
shit like that. Okay, sure.
I mean, can you go from one side of the universe to the other without loading screens?
No,
No. Oh,
no.
well. Guess I'm wrong then, because I assumed that they had the entire... Well, how often would you load then if you go from one side to the
Pretty
other?
much every time you get into your warp drive, that's a loading screen. And every time you go into a black hole, so anytime you want to change your star system, that is a loading screen.
So you can't just drive from one star system to another.
Correct. The game glitches out apparently. A couple people have tried it.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess that's interesting because that either tells us that they actually meant to make a multiplayer because of that limitation of star systems,
Hmm.
or they did that for frame rate issues and such. Instead of having a fluid level that just loads in the nearest stars.
Yeah, they probably could make each solar system its separate instance. instead of like one massive universe, its own like one instance. That seems like a nightmare. But if you instance hell, even each planet separately, kind of like how Destiny did, you should be able to do it.
Well, these planets are pretty big, even if you have just one planet and then people could fly. So there would still be three coordinates, and they would be there would be a float that a number that is a decimal number that goes onto. Well, it goes into very. It has to go from what I'm assuming is 1 million to minus 1 million, and it probably has to have at least one decimal, so it doesn't look too choppy when you see it. So if you'd have two players that are in there, they would have to be sending those coordinates back and forth a lot, and then the biggest problem would be that they would also have to send the enemies or
Yeah.
animals or whatever, because you'd probably want to synchronize those as well.
Yeah.
So just the more detail you would add to this multiplayer, the harder, the more resources it would take, and the more lag he would experience, I suppose.
Right, and that's something I've been trying to say on our channel too. Like, my buddy who is also on the channel, he says like, oh, it should be simple. Once they'll add multiplayer in a little bit later, but I'm trying to say like, it can't be that easy. You know, like they got to have the right server tick. They've got to do all these. They've got to do a handful of things, and they can't. There's no way it's just a switch to flip. Okay, you can
Oh,
see your
that's
friends now.
definitely not. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can't just take a game and make it multiplayer that easily. But I
yeah.
was thinking of another way of doing it. What if they had some kind of closed off areas where you could enter, and then inside that area you would be able to interact with other players? I thought that would be a way that it could work. But
So like hub zones.
yeah, like
Sure.
like battle arenas or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So if they did that, and then there probably wouldn't be any animals, just players, then that would be a possibility. But then I don't even know. Does No Man's Sky have good combat?
No, not really. I mean, everything about the game is pretty shallow. A lot of the mechanics and stuff. The Polygon review that I read puts it best, where it's like, what do you do in No Man's Sky? Hundreds of little things, and so that's No Man's Sky in a nutshell.
Says there are lots of mining in it.
Oh yeah, lots of gathering. That's what it is. It really
Collect us
scratches
all.
that itch for me.
Oh, is that a good thing? The collecting for you?
Yeah, I find those remedial tasks actually kind of enjoying sometimes.
Yeah,
It's,
grind that iron, get
oh
+10
yeah,
iron, kill that animal, more iron or whatever carbohydrate.
hell yeah, man, that's my life.
Brilliant. uh, yeah. So I was thinking of having some kind of multiplayer aspect as well in Poor Mouse, but I wouldn't confirm it yet because it's very difficult to pull off. In
Sure.
fact, so I was thinking it would be possible to have some kind of race against other mice, and then you could just run and glide in the designated area.
Yeah.
I was thinking that could be cool, and I definitely want to get to work on it. I was previously doing
You play Just Cause, right?
yeah.
In Poor Mouse, you could probably just implement like a leaderboard system in certain areas, just like Just Cause did.
Oh yeah,
And
that's just like multiplayer.
I get what you're saying.
Have you played the Just Cause 2 multiplayer mod ever?
No, I've never touched this game.
Oh my god, it's the laggiest piece of shit ever, that multiplayer mod. Just the amount of flag is just indescribable. Maybe that was just because they had that one time where everyone was joining. Maybe I should have come back another time, it might have lagged less.
Maybe.
Oh yeah.
So you were thinking like hub zones and stuff in No Man's Sky, right?
Yeah, they could have battle arenas or I
And
guess even trading areas.
so yeah, like cordoned off areas where it's like this is the multiplayer zone, or you come in here to play with your friends. So that kind of reminds me of Pokemon. Pokemon, there was like you'd go into a special arena in there, and then inside that arena you can connect to other players and battle your Pokemon in there.
Oh,
I kind
cool.
of that's So they could probably throw those on planets randomly, and you could decide to do stuff like that.
I know, right? What if there was this battle arena in there all along and just no one has found it yet? And if they found it, they found it empty. So
And then they just left.
yeah, maybe they just assumed that people would write on the internet, these are the coordinates to the battle arena. Challenge me now. But they never did. They just assumed instantly there was no multiplayer.
Yeah, I know.
So it's a tragic story of No Man's Sky. uh,
But yeah, I think something like that could definitely work for sure. They've talked about base building, and they're gonna add that in later updates, and that seems like something that would that for me the biggest thing about No Man's Sky is actually its isolation that it provides. You go into the game and there is no social features, nothing like that, and you just feel alone. And I feel like art in any kind of medium like that, it's supposed to evoke an emotion, and No Man's Sky succeeds in invoking that emotion of isolation. So to me, it's a good game. And so like they're adding in base building, and that to me tells me, okay, we want you to put down roots. And when you and that's seems kind of backwards to what the original vision of No Man's Sky was. And when you say like we want base building, we want you to put down roots, and that also tells me that you want other players to come visit, and you want other people to put down roots as well on your planet. And so like social features like that definitely seems like it's something that's kind of in the future, in their heads.
so you think that's against the vision that you have of the game?
I do think so, but I think in order for the game to succeed, because it did, I'm sure you saw the numbers. It dropped 90% of its player base.
Oh, did it?
After,
I saw
yeah.
it was on the top sellers on Steam, so it must have
Yeah.
made incredible amounts of money.
They made a ton of money from the initial launch, but nobody's playing it anymore. That's the thing. And so I think in order for the game to succeed, in order for people to keep playing the game, it does need social features. That's something I said like the first 5 minutes of playing the game. I'm like, this will be fun for a little bit, but we got to find ways to interact with other players and stuff. And I think that's what they're trying to do for sure.
I see. So I've never played No Man's Sky yet. I was thinking that it might actually be kind of up my alley because I like the original Spore, and then
Uh huh.
I could imagine it'd be quite nice to go into these planets and just look around. But then I see the mining, and that's kind of lame.
Hmm.
Who'd wanna? Well, I guess you want to play a game where you just shoot
Yeah.
the mining cannon and stuff.
Yeah, like I told you, and I said it on my review. Like I got into old school RuneScape. That game is so grindy. Like a few months ago, just because I don't know, I just like wasting my time on nothing for some reason. And No Man's Sky came out, and that just perfectly scratches that itch for me. Where it's like those checkbox games, like Far Cry and stuff like that, and but the checkboxes never run out, and you can just walk to the right a little bit, and you'll find something to do. It might be the same thing you did earlier, but it's something to do, and if you think if you think it kind of catches your attention like that, then go ahead and grab it. There's definitely an audience for it.
Oh God, I shouldn't be wasting my time.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm so very busy at the moment. Oh well, tell us what you think. What you want to see with No Man's Sky as a multiplayer. Have you played EVE Online? Is that already similar to how No Man's Sky should be?
I haven't played EVE Online. No. I
Me
think
neither.
I mean, it's tough, right? I think No Man's Sky needs a lot in order for it to kind of latch on to people. I also think that what we got was not a finished product. I think this game was intended to come out in fall.
Well,
And I
people
won't-
were very upset about the delay already, so I guess it was forced out the door.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't want to dwell on that. That'll sidetrack us. But what do I want from the game in terms of multiplayer? I think your idea of the hub zones is kind of perfect. You go in there. I think another idea that I had before the game came out was, do you know what a mosa is, and not the drink?
No.
It's something new that came out, and Ark Survival Evolved. It was a mod for that, and it's called Multiplayer Online Survival Arena. And
Oh.
what that is you just think the Hunger Games, right? You've seen that movie, right?
Yeah, I actually wanted to make a game like that at one point, but then and then I just made Poor Mouse instead, because I just couldn't understand the multiplayer anymore.
Yeah.
It was
And
so
I
complex.
I think you could throw people, you can randomly generate a planet, and I think that could be pretty fun. The entire experience would be random. You throw a bunch of people on the planet, and you tell them to mine for resources, and then over time the arena gets smaller and smaller, and you have to eventually, and then the last person standing wins. But the problem with that is that the game is so shallow at a combat standpoint and at a crafting standpoint. You'll need to add a lot more stuff like that to make it a more exciting experience. But I think that's definitely, like, if you're trying to put in competitive multiplayer in the game, that's the first thing they should look at. They should look at Survival of the Fittest from Ark Survival Evolved.
But that would have the same issue then as the entire multiplayer that we discussed, because that would have all the animals and all the players having to be synced up. So
yeah, but it's only like 8 players. You know what I mean? You don't need.
It would be, but how many animals would you put on the planet?
I don't know. And that's the thing. It's they do need something to differentiate themselves from Survival of the Fittest. Maybe
it probably shouldn't be a whole planet, because that would be massive.
Yeah, we can be pragmatic about it and just cordon off a planet for sure.
Yes, these are the options for multiplayer. Oh well. Let us know what you think. Goodbye.
Later. Why? Yeah. All this carbon. This is riveting content. Oh, what's this? This looks cool. Oh, hey, Iridium. All right. It's overheated. I am happy right now. This is nice. Okay. Wow, you got 2 hours until your download finishes, Dondred? That is rough. Yeah. I want to make it float. Game Boy Color is better than PC. I agree 100%, buddy. Come on. Thing. Yeah. This is okay. I need to charge up my mining beam a little bit more. I need more carbon. Oh hey, this will work too. Sweet. Okay. Says this isn't rocket science. Are you kidding me? We're going through space. Oh no, my life support's low. Come on. It's a little awkward just staring at the sky. How do I get back to my ship? Oh. I think I have all my radium. Oh, there. All right. Wow, you're still grinding the game. Kudos. Well, I did just start over. Okay, so I can craft a couple more caride sheets in the inventory. Okay.
Constructed.
Nice. Nope. This one. That one.
Product constructed.
Okay. I don't have enough iridium yet. I gotta find some more iridium.